Hello crochet friends, and welcome to today's video. I'm Graceface, and I thought for today we would have more of an informal kind of chit-chat video. As you can see on the table in front of me, I have some Peekaboo Pals ghosties that I am working on finishing up the little final details so that I can get them on a restock on my website, and I thought this would be a good time for you guys to sit with me and let's talk a little bit about me and why I don't sell more plushies, about patterns coming out for the future, and what the future of the channel looks like. I have these 8 plushies mostly completed. What I need to do is finish the blush on 6 of them on the Angry Ghosty side, and then they all need Velcro on their right hands on both sides. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do for this is finish up the blush, which means I need blush yarn. Conveniently, we are right in front of my yarn wall, so we can just grab it. In my downtime over the last 2 or 2.5 weeks, I have been working on making some ghosties to sell on my website for a plushie restock. Hi, Griffin. My cat Griffin is here to say hello. Hopefully he won't mess with you too much. He's very interested in the lights right now. I'm not really good at being a plushie manufacturing factory for a few different reasons. I have arthritis and a connective tissue disorder, possibly Ehlers-Danlos. I'm working on diagnoses with my doctor right now and trying to figure out exactly what's driving everything. I do have a lot of joint pain and issues, which makes it hard for me to crochet as much as I would need to crank out plushies. My hands cramp up and then I'm unable to use them at all for days. So I really have to pace myself and not go too hard or too fast with my crochet work. Additionally, I have ADHD. Making the same thing over and over again is like freaking torture to me. I know there's quite a lot of other neurodivergent crafters out there who feel the same way. It makes it really hard for me to make the same thing over and over again. I hate it. You know, sometimes you make something and then you really like it and you make a few of them, and that's great. But the instant it becomes like an obligation or something that I have to do, I no longer want to do it. And I kind of want to die inside every time somebody asks me to. It's really hard to be motivated to crank out plushies. It just feels torturous to me for multiple reasons. What we are looking at in front of me at 8 plushies is what I've been working on in my spare time between other projects, on my lunch breaks at work, at night when I'm watching TV, etc. Just trying to crank out as many as I possibly could for you guys. It is Halloween season. It was Halloween season. It's November. I missed Halloween. I've had a lot of migraines recently. I kind of always have a lot of migraines, unfortunately, but I have had some that were lasting days at a time recently, and it makes it quite hard to focus and concentrate. Put me a bit behind in my schedule. I'd initially planned to have the restock for my ghosts on October 30th. That way it would be before Halloween. Fell behind in my own schedule and decided better late than never. My ghostie has gone viral a few times, and every time that happens, it tends to reach people who don't crochet. Usually the messages that I'm sending out into the social media internet are typically about crochet patterns and not really necessarily about selling plushies. But when something hits the algorithm and it gets picked up and goes viral and you get millions of views, you inevitably get a lot of people who are not the target audience for what you intended. These people all wanted to purchase plushies, and of course that always happens when I don't have any plushies available. I do have a waiting list that I have set up. They can leave their email and which Peekaboo Pal they're interested in, and when I do a restock, I will let those people know. I've been working my little fingers to the bone. Like, these 2 fingers here are so sore because for the last day and a half, I've been sewing details and sewing plushies together. So I had to sew all of these together, add the face details, and my fingers hurt. I wasn't looking forward to finishing the blush details on these because my fingers are so sore from just pushing the needle in like this and pulling it out like this. It's not even that hard. Again, I have a connective tissue disorder. Did I mention I'm very sensitive? Unfortunately, really small things can cause me injury and harm. I wish that wasn't the case. A lot of times it feels like I can't do anything. Like my hands collapse when I put pressure on things, and it hurts just to even like pet my cats. If I do that for more than like, I don't know, 2 minutes, it starts to hurt. The cats are becoming curious about this activity, and they are both kind of hovering around behind me at the moment, inspecting all of these details. They're very curious about why I have so many lights on right now, and I'm just really hopeful that they don't knock over my ring lights. Neither one of them are anywhere around until I start doing something, and then they flock in. Like they were both taking naps. Quiet, peaceful, adorable floofies taking naps. I turn on lights and decide I'm gonna start recording something, and now they're both like circling and sniffing wires, and it's making me increasingly nervous the more it continues. I will be in a lot of pain if I push myself to crochet more than usually like 3 or 4 hours in a day is the most that I can do before I will start to physically be in pain. And if I do that repeated days in a row at my maximum capacity, I will hit a wall and not be able to do anything for a few days. I really have to pace myself, and it's quite unfortunate. And if I'm doing a more intensive project, I do tend to have a lot more issues. Like when I was making this hat, for some reason, the double stranding of this hat caused my wrists a lot of pain and issues when I first started making it. I'm not sure if it was just my wrists were flaring up already, because I don't feel like the tension was that severe, and I double strand things at other points and haven't necessarily had that problem. In fact, I kind of feel like crocheting with blanket yarn should be harder on my hands than it is. Maybe it's a tension thing. Maybe I'm just used to what I do. Maybe I'm neurodivergent and can't tell when I'm hurting myself sometimes. Hi, Simon. You want to say hi to everyone? Yeah, I know. I love you too, buddy. One of the reasons that I decided to start this YouTube channel was that some of my things that I like to crochet and shows that I stan, I guess, things that I'm into are copyrighted IPs. And, you know, there's plenty of people out there who make and sell patterns that are of copyrighted characters, but that's not something that I personally would like to risk doing. I don't want to feel the wrath of Disney coming at me because I chose to sell a pattern of something that is one of their copyrighted characters. They like to sue people. I've heard so many stories of them shutting people's Etsy's down and like ruining their whole businesses basically because they wanted to sell patterns or some sort of art that had a Disney character involved. There's also plenty of people out there getting away with it, making it look like that's something that's a viable marketplace. It's just not something I'm comfortable doing. I thought that a good way to do that would be to give those patterns away for free to people on a YouTube channel such as this, which was kind of my initial thought in starting it. A lot of people are interested in my over the garden wall patterns, and I would like to start releasing even more over the garden wall inspired crochet work. So I thought having my YouTube would be a good place to do that so that I could, you know, make some cool crochet work that is fan art of IPs that I really appreciate and be able to still share that with other people and in a way that won't get me in legal trouble. I also know that there are quite a few people out here who learn better visually. Just being able to see what's going on helps them a lot more. I am all about making my patterns and my designs inclusive for people so that people from all different styles of learning and neurotypes have access to be able to make these designs. Designs that are not someone else's intellectual property that I do release on my channel. I can also have PDF versions of the patterns available for you. Additionally, there will be some that I can release just for free onto my website for you guys. Simple things like my ghost friend backpack. I feel like generally speaking, ghosts are saturated in the crochet pattern market. And my ghost backpack is just a really big ghost. instead of stuffing it, I made it where you could put your stuff inside of it. My cat is meowing at me over here. He is mad that I am not talking to him and paying attention to him right now. Let's talk a little bit as well about what is coming to the channel and what I've got in the future for patterns. As I alluded to before, I have more over the garden wall patterns that I am working on, as well as ones that designs I've already made, but I haven't released patterns for, that I would like to release patterns for here on my channel in the coming months. Currently, I am working on a new over the garden wall design, and I am very stoked about it. My cat is like steady meowing at me over here where you can't see him behind this hat. I have a design for a Greg plushie. I would also like to make a Wirt plushie to go along with that. And those would be new designs. I have finished the Greg design. I've got my prototype completely done, and I am about to, probably tonight after this, start working on a second run through of the pattern to make sure that it's correct and iron out the details, get it typed up, and then I will be looking for pattern testers. If you're seeing this when I release this next week, keep your eyes peeled for a pattern tester call. Unfortunately for beginners out there, it is a little bit more of an intermediate level plushie patterns. You will need to have experience with amigurumi to apply for a pattern tester for that design. But for those of you out there who are experienced with amigurumi and are diehard over the garden wall fans like me, please watch out. I know there's a couple people out there. I know my friend Katie is probably going to watch this, and I know she has already got most of her yarn because I told her I was working on Greg. I would like to do other over the garden wall characters that I haven't done, like the Beast and the Woodsman and Beatrice, more pumpkin people. I've done a pumpkin lady and I did Enoch. And I would like to re-release Enoch and then redo the pumpkin lady and have like a pumpkin man and a pumpkin woman, a masculine presenting pumpkin and a feminine presenting pumpkin to be more inclusive. I've also had quite a lot of requests for me to do a tutorial for Greg's teapot hat. I do have a Greg costume or a Greg cosplay that I kind of put together, and I made myself a teapot hat out of blanket yarn for that, and I've had quite a lot of people ask for a tutorial on that item. My plans are probably to put that tutorial up next, work on testers for my Greg design. For all you wearable fans out there, or Showtime cardigan fans, I have a couple of other colorways of the Showtime cardigan that I would like to do additional like supplemental tutorials for. One of them I'm wearing right now. This is the Raven variant. I got a cool Nevermore patch here, and this is based off of Wednesday Addams' uniform. I want to also do the same thing in purple and black to do just a basic Nevermore variant on this design. I have the yarn for it. I've had the yarn for it for like 6 or 8 months, but I just keep putting it onto the back burner as far as like projects. Something else seems to come up and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do that next. Oh yeah, I'll get to that one. And then I do something else and I'm like, all right, I'll get to that. And, you know, I'll probably be motivated to let this pattern update out closer to when like Wednesday season 2 comes out. That'll give me some time to work on it. I'm also working on a Nightmare Before Christmas variant of the Showtime cardigan. It's designed to mirror Jack Skellington's suit jacket, and it's gonna be really cool, and I'm very excited about it. My hopes is that 2 of the bigger designs you'll see on my channel before the end of the year will be my Greg plushie, as well as the Nightmare Before Christmas, the Jack Skellington Showtime variant. I also have quite a lot of other plushie designs that I have made and just not released patterns for before. I think about 1.5 years ago, I made like a strawberry bear and a blueberry bear. I thought they were darn cute at the time and I was really excited about them. And then I got distracted by something else, as I tend to do, and just never wrote up the pattern for those guys. I have all of it done. I just need to like rewrite it. Thought that would be kind of a fun tutorial I probably wouldn't release that till closer to spring. I feel like strawberries and blueberries are just not in season right now. So maybe after Christmas, we'll see something like that coming to the channel. So as you can tell, I've got quite a lot of designs on the way and plans coming. So one thing that's coming up sooner rather than later that you will probably see once this video is out is that I am now on Ribler. If you're not familiar with Ribler, it is a social media platform that was created by fiber artists for fiber artists. Their app is really cool. It marks things off as you go when you're working on the pattern. You can click it off line by line to track your progress. It automatically translates patterns into the correct terminology and language for you. And you can just look at specifically if it's a sized garment. You can look at specifically the size that you are making instead of having to sift through all of the instructions for all the other sizes. It's interactive and really cool platform. I'd been meaning to launch all my patterns there, and just the overwhelming task of uploading all of my patterns to a new platform prevented me and my ADHD self from accomplishing that goal until they reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in joining the platform and doing some collaborations with them. So this is a really fun opportunity, and I'm super excited to get the kick in the pants I needed to get over onto a new platform. I haven't ever sold any patterns on Etsy. Initially, when I started selling patterns, I'd heard horror stories of people trying to sell plushies and patterns on Etsy, and people thinking that they were buying a plushie for a pattern price. And at the time, I didn't have a website, and I was just selling patterns on Ravelry and plushies on Etsy. Since then, I've launched my own website, and I sell my patterns on my website as well. I don't really do my business off of Etsy anymore, and I'm not really sure what I want to do with my Etsy shop. Right now, I think it's just got some like residual plushies and hats and random things in there that I should probably just go take all the listings down. I thought about starting to sell my patterns on Etsy since I have my website as a platform to sell my plushies on now, and that way there wouldn't be confusion as to whether people were getting a plushie or a pattern. I just haven't made that transition yet, and I'm not sure if I will. If you're somebody who uses Etsy for patterns and you prefer that, drop me a comment down below and let me know. Tell me yay or nay whether it's a good idea to join Etsy's for patterns specifically. I know everybody's different, and I've heard there's quite a few people out there who rely on Etsy as their pattern selling platform, and that I've heard of people saying like, oh, well, if they don't have it on Etsy, then I'm not getting it. That's what kind of made me consider potentially just moving over all of my patterns to Etsy and switching it from a plushie or a finished item sales shop to just for patterns. But like I said, drop me a comment down below and let me know how you feel about different sites to get patterns off of. Tell me what you do for your patterns. I'd love to hear more. I'm always open for suggestions, so if there's something of my work that I've done that you would like to see patterns for sooner rather than later, or maybe there's something I didn't mention that you would like to see coming, you have ideas, I would love to hear it. So feel free to drop me a comment down below and let me know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gotta cut enough Velcro for everyone. I'm honestly glad I have enough Velcro. I knew I had some. Luckily, I do have enough. I have more Peekaboo Pals on the way as well. I've been working on a hedgehog design. It just kind of got shoved to the back burner for a bit, but I would like to get that design finished up and then tested and released, you know, hopefully by January is kind of my goal on that one. A little bit more long term. Do have like a backlog of some designs that I would like to put out and share that I just hadn't felt comfortable sharing since they were of copyrighted characters. So I have put a little bit more of a prioritized focus on getting those designs ready to be something I can share with you. I'm hoping that having this channel will be a fun way for me to share a lot of my designs with you and show you some cool stuff that you can make. I'd like to share some tips and tricks videos as well, just for things that I've learned along the way of my crochet journey that I think would be helpful for other people. I hope you've been enjoying all the crochet videos and the tutorials. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any future crochet videos. I upload every other Wednesday and I love to make new crochet friends. Thank you so much for watching and happy crocheting!